Good evening, everybody. I hope you're all doing really well. We have a wonderful guest with us this evening as we continue our Stories Hosts series. So this evening you'll probably see advertised on our Instagram our Instagram stories that we have the amazing Sophie Stanbury joining us this evening. So we're just going to wait for a little minute for Sophie to request to join. Hi everybody, evening. How are you all doing? I hope everybody's well. So we're just waiting for Sophie Stanbury to come and join us this evening. I hope you're all doing really, really well. Hi Claudia, how are you? It's lovely to see you all joining us. So just waiting for Sophie Stanbury to come and join us. Many of you will know Sophie. Sophie Stanbury is a renowned interior designer. She's an influential content creator and an inspirational mother. And just for us to celebrate coming out of Mother's Day, we are just really excited to have her join me live this evening. So we're just waiting for her to join. And Sophie, if you're there, if you would just send me a little request and I can get you added. Hi everybody. Hi guys, how are you doing? So hi, evening. Welcome to our Stories hosts, and I see Sophie has just joined us, so she'll be sending a request in a moment. Hi Sophie, would you send me a friend request to be live in the video? There we go. Hi guys, hi everybody. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm really well. How are you doing?
Yes, great, thank you. Happy Tuesday.
I know, isn't it? It's so hard to believe we're on Tuesday. I am getting so mixed up in all my days of the week this past little while, especially
I know,
because
with the clock change. It's
totally.
crazy. I
And
know.
the evenings are a bit lighter. The weather was fabulous over the weekend, and now we're back to the grey,
I
cold
know.
days.
I know, but school finishes tomorrow, so I'm super excited. No more school run for 3.5 weeks.
Oh, fabulous. Oh,
Action packed, but no more seriously early starts at
yeah.
6:30. So that'll be so nice.
Oh no, I'm looking forward to that as well. Friday, my girls get off, so that will
Nice.
be good as well. But listen, Sophie, thank you so much for joining. It
Pleasure.
is just my pleasure. I wanted to give a little bit of an introduction myself to you.
Yes.
You don't need an introduction. Everybody knows who you are, who's joining. But you are a renowned interior designer. You're an influential content creator. You're an inspirational mother. And I'm so proud to say that you're a friend of Stories.
Oh.
And just as we come out of Mother's Day on Sunday, who better to have on, because I love following you and your boys and just seeing what you're up to and how you share your life with us all. So I just want you to give us a little bit of an introduction in your own words, who you are.
Okay, well, thank you for having me, and thanks for that sweet, lovely message at the beginning. That was very kind. And as you know, I'm a big fan of Stories #2. We'll come on to that later. But I guess a real snapshot of what I share and who I am is I'm obviously a very busy working mother of two little boys who are 8 and 12. Life is full on. I'm a single mother, as most people know. I got divorced 6 years ago. And I guess what I originally started sharing was my journey coming out of divorce, which is when the Ladies of London show was aired, and coming into my own and really building my business, finding my feet again, being independent again, making my own money again, running my own ship. And trying to be a fabulous mummy at the same time, and the
Wow.
juggle and
Wow.
self-care and all of the rest of it. So
Oh,
um,
amazing.
as you
Amazing.
know, we juggle many balls in the air, and there's never a dull moment. But
I know.
actually, a friend of mine said to me the other day, if you had all the money in the world and you were laying back on a sunbed every day, drinking your pina coladas, you'd actually be a bit bored.
Yeah,
And it's like, would I? I don't know about that.
I
But
know.
actually, they're right. You know, I'm motivated and I'm driven to be more successful, a better mother, a better everything. And I think, you know, living your best life is very much about, for me, working hard and proving to yourself that you can do it every step of
Yeah,
the way. And
absolutely.
that's the biggest reward of all.
Yeah, and you know,
So,
everything you've said there, I really want to unpick a little bit. And you know, you mentioned Ladies of London, and I've got to ask you, I saw that you were with Caroline at her wedding in Dubai, and there was a
yes,
mini reunion going on there,
there
and
was.
it looked really exciting. So is there anything exciting there that you can share with us?
Yes, I mean, Dubai was absolutely magical. I mean, I think everybody was skeptical at the beginning when Caroline met a much younger man, and you know, there was a lot of, oh gosh, is it going to work out? But actually, I can safely say, hand on my heart, the wedding was absolutely beautiful, and I saw Caroline glowing from head to toe, happy, content. She's found her partner in every single sense of the way, and she's really, really happy, which is lovely to see. And everybody, you know, deserves a second chance and another go
Absolutely.
at a relationship, and good for her. And that comes in all shapes, sizes, ages, everything. So
Absolutely.
you know,
Brilliant.
I'm fully behind her, and I think
Yeah.
it's fabulous. And yeah, it was a
And
real celebration of love.
And there were some of the ladies of London there as well. I saw
Yes, we
lots
had.
of dancing in the
Well,
evening and
we
lots of
did
fun.
get a little loose at some points. We had Caroline Fleming, who is one of my all-time favorites, and we're still very close. It was really lovely to see her because she moved to Denmark about a year ago now. Juliet was there with all her family. She's always just all of fun. So
Yeah,
that was lovely. I had all Luke was there as well, who's just heaven, so lovely. And then all of my ex family, who are still very close to me and very important to me. So it was a
amazing.
real
Yeah.
celebration of everything,
And you know,
reunions
that's
and
what
fun.
it, it's just so amazing, you know, that whole your whole situation. And I will move into that shortly. And you know, your family and your extended family and how you've managed to keep those friendships and family together. But we'll move into that in a little bit. But I want to talk a little bit about your interior design because
Mhm.
that is amazing. I love interior design, and I just, you know, how did you get into this world? Did you always have a real passion for interiors, or how did you
Yeah.
get into it?
Well, I did. I always had a real passion for it, but I didn't actually study it at school. So I went into other jobs first. So I moved to New York when I left uni very early on, and I was very young when I moved there, and I got some great opportunities and really got my confidence in New York because I think the US is just full of opportunities, and you can prove yourself very quickly there if you're a hard worker. And so that was amazing. I had a fabulous 2 years, came back, went straight into another job. And I really worked for the first, until I had Harry, my first child, until I got married, doing corporate jobs because the money was great. It afforded me to buy my first flat, my first car. And I'm a grafter. I love working.
Yeah,
So for me, I just wanted to make as much money as I could and be happy while doing it, surrounded by fabulous work colleagues. But, you know, get those you know, payments in the bank and get a house under my belt. So that was kind of
absolutely.
my aim. Then when I got married and had Harry, I took my maternity leave and I went back into my corporate role, which was head of designer relations at Swarovski at the corporate
Wow.
communications
Yeah.
office in London, dealing with all the designer collaborations, sort of with the crystal manufacturers and the key designers in
Oh
fashion,
gosh.
film, stage, and
Oh,
interiors. And
interesting.
I decided after I went back from my maternity leave that I was just fed up with working for other people and I really wanted to work for myself. I had a young baby who I didn't want to give to a nanny or a nursery. I really wanted to be around for my baby. So I went back to school, crazy as it may sound, with a brand new baby.
Crazy. Oh God.
And I did a year's course at the Inchbald School of Design, qualified with a diploma, and went straight into work experience. And then through word of mouth, got my first job. And it really led on from there. But it was more of a sort of mini business hobby to begin with, because I obviously had Harry and he was little and I wanted to be a present mum. And then I think my business really took off when Alex and I divorced, and I really needed to make money, and fast, because suddenly I was on my own and I had to stand on my own 2 feet. And so that's when I really pushed the business and started growing, and developing it in every which way I could. And it's been good. It's been really good.
And it takes you around the world, so you're all over UK, but you're in the Middle. You go to the Middle East as well, isn't that correct?
I didn't. I was nearly in the Middle East. I was going to do a project in Dubai, but actually it was so close to Christmas, and there were so many other things going on. I had other projects in the UK, so I didn't make it. But that's in the pipelines. Just haven't done it yet.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. And actually, the fact that you went back to learn when you had young children is incredible.
Well, it felt like such a gift, because I think when you're in school the first time round and you're sort of, you just follow that course of action, don't you? You'll kind of go from school to uni and you're just in that sort of treadmill, and you're not really thinking about what it actually is you want to do. Well, I didn't. I was just thinking, right, I've got another 2 years here, another 2 years here. And I never really properly thought about what I wanted to do. And I actually trained to be a teacher.
Okay.
Which I didn't love, I have to be completely honest. And I didn't go on and do any teaching after my degree. But I really had a passion for interiors, but I just didn't want to do it at that time. I didn't realize I could do it. It wasn't an option. It was very much, it wasn't on the table. And I think going back to school when you've had kids and you actually, you're in an environment where you're really learning and you're really absorbing what's going on. It is so amazing. And you realize what the gift of learning is at that point.
I know.
Which I never appreciated before.
I don't think we do. I don't think we appreciate when we're younger and we're given, the chance to learn. We don't appreciate it and love it. But I do believe that when you go back in later life, it is incredible. But Sophie, you have amazing, dedicated followers who follow you on Instagram. You're inspirational. You inspire people day in and day out. And being a mum to 2 boys and a single mum of that, what is the cameras like? Or when the cameras stop rolling, what is it like behind the scenes? Because how do you balance it all? We
have a very normal existence like everybody else. I wake up super early in the morning, 6:30 every day, get myself ready, and then my youngest has major sensory issues, so it takes a long time to get him ready for school and fed and everything else, and lots of negotiations going on, so it's quite stressful in the morning with him. And then once the children are at school, I think my main thing is an hour of me time, so I just want to reboot my whole system. So for me, exercise is massively important in my life. And actually, when I first got divorced, it was really my go-to. It was a place where I could escape, be surrounded by other women, some of which were going through the same things. I forged some really good friendships through doing it. It was escapism, it was endorphins, and it was feeling good on the inside. And it was only later on, after doing it for a year, that I started to look good on the outside, because I was never that fit. So I think, when behind the scenes, behind the cameras, it's fitness, it's eating clean, it's feeling good on the inside out. Sleep, sometimes I'm really good at. Other times, this week I've been terrible. I've been watching something on TV. I've been trying to finish a project. My sleep's gone out the window. But sleep is key. Lots of downtime at the weekends. Lots of cooking with my boys. I try and find all the things that they're really passionate about. They're no longer that passionate about walking the dog, sadly. During lockdown, we did so much out nature sort of walks and bike rides, and now they're so over it. It's just like, the reality is quite different now. but yeah, I mean, we do all the simple things in life,
Yeah.
and
And
we
it's
enjoy it.
amazing that you talk about, fitness and that being a real key for your wellness and your time to yourself as well.
Yes,
Because I think it is so important that we take that time out, isn't it,
a
for
hundred
ourselves.
percent.
And
I think especially, I mean, everybody should, but as a
yeah,
single mum, there's no backup really.
yeah,
And it's really important. Things get hectic. You know, you've got clients needing things, you've got deadlines, you've got places you need to go, meetings to go to, you've got to rush back to the school gates, not be late for pickup. Yeah,
yeah,
everything's down to you, and you've got to pay
absolutely.
your own bills. And I've just paid a massive tax bill today, and I was like, oh God. And it's
I
all
know,
pressure. So
I
you
know.
have to have a form of release.
Yeah,
And I think
absolutely.
when I first got divorced, my form of release was going out with my girlfriends. But, you know, after a while, you're like, well, I don't need to be going out every night of the week. I'd rather be at home
Yeah,
doing, getting my sleep and working and catching up on things. But I think you go through cycles, and
yeah.
you have to do a bit of everything. But my focus now is definitely fitness, and
Fitness.
has been really from day one.
Yeah. So you talked about Alex and your divorce, etc.
Yes.
And it was quite funny. I think we chatted a while back, and you said to me about, oh yeah, the headline was we've rekindled our marriage. But it was
Yeah,
some paper had picked up that you were away together.
I know.
And, but what really I took from that was that couldn't have been further from the truth. But what you actually do together is co-parent and co-parent
Yeah.
extremely well. So really, how did you manage for your own health, for the health of your boys, for your relationships, and how did you manage to get to that place of co-parenting? Because there's so many of us that are dealing with the same situations, where that we're facing divorce or we're going through divorce. And
Yeah.
actually it's how do you do it? Because, that's not just for your Instagram. This is real life. You actually
No.
do
Yeah.
co-parent, and you co-parent well. So tell us a little bit
Well,
about that.
it's obviously it's not always easy, and I know it's impossible for some people because there are things that happen in a relationship that you just can't get over. But for Alex and I think when we separated, we really made a promise to ourselves and to our children that we were always going to be very present in their lives. And for me, especially, I just wanted Alex to still be around for them. And the only way that I knew he was going to be around for them was if I was going to let go of all my bitterness and anger, and so was he, and move forward. Now, I think one of the key things is obviously the divorce part is awful and everybody has to go through that. But unfortunately, because Alex did lose his business at the time, we weren't arguing about how much money I was going to get per month. And I think money is a big thing in
Yeah,
the settlement. And because
yeah,
that wasn't even on the table, it was a question of, well, how are we going to divide up the children's time? So there was no anger or bitterness. I'm having to work really hard and give her half my money. That was taken off the table.
yeah,
And actually, as a result of that, I think Alex's level of respect for me went up enormously, because he could see
yeah,
how hard I was having to work
yeah,
to really support my lifestyle with the kids. And when I say my lifestyle, we started off really small. We were having fish fingers and baked beans on toast and scrambled eggs a lot. And
yeah,
mummy was working on so many different things. And I said yes to everything, from hosting events to
yeah,
organizing pop-ups to working for little projects, interiors, doing one bedrooms or curtains or this or that. I was literally juggling 10
yeah.
jobs at once, doing
Amazing.
some awful things at sometimes.
Yeah,
But you get through it, and you realize that you can do it. And then when your confidence grows, you start only doing the things that are going to be beneficial to you and make you more money. But at the beginning, you really do have to scramble around and think,
yeah,
God, I've suddenly got to get the rent money together and pay the bills and put petrol in the car and put food on the table and all of those things. And I think just going through that and Alex witnessing that gave us a really good base for respect for each other.
yeah,
I also sat down with him and actually learned exactly what went wrong with his business and why he probably behaved the way he did towards me. because he never actually told me what was going on. He would
Yeah.
just, his behavior was not nice to me, but because he was so defensive about what was happening in his life. And I think just that communication, that letting go, that level of understanding, life's really short and
Absolutely.
things aren't always perfect.
Yeah.
And you have to move forward. You have to forgive. Well,
Yeah.
in my mind, I had to forgive. I know
Yeah.
not everybody can do that. It depends, you know, if somebody, I don't know, if Alex had slept with my best friend, maybe I'd have felt
Yeah.
differently.
I
But
know. Yeah.
that wasn't the case for me. And so
Yeah.
for me, it was just a question of, right, our marriage hasn't worked. We have to build on a friendship. We have to start again. We have to start afresh. We
Yeah.
have two beautiful boys who we are so fortunate have come into our lives, and they deserve our complete respect to them and to each other to
Yeah.
make our family the best dysfunctional modern family
Yeah.
you can find.
Yeah.
And that was really our goal. And that we sat down one evening and we put the worlds to rights, and that was our mission.
Yeah.
And it was an amazing feeling because it's baby steps, and but I think just having that communication with each other and that level of understanding and that letting go of any bitterness or
Yeah.
feeling of
Absolutely.
failure or disappointment. I mean, for a long time I felt like a failure, and for a long time Alex and I miscommunicated over all the reasons we used for.
Oh,
And
oh,
then I
so
think
you're
once you
back.
get your cards on the same table and you're
Yeah.
singing from the same song sheet and you have the same values and you want the same things, then it's okay to move forward and
Yeah.
let go of everything that's happened in the past. So
Yeah.
we made a deal
Amazing.
that we'd spend at least 2 family holidays a year together.
Yep.
We'd spend Christmases as much as we can together, until potentially one of us gets married or has a partner that doesn't work. But
Yeah.
all the boys' birthdays, all the big events, all the big family occasions, we're still very much doing them together. And
Yeah.
actually, for Easter, I'm going to stay with his parents in the country with the boys,
Gorgeous.
um,
Lovely.
because they're very much still my
Yeah.
in-laws.
Absolutely. And it's lovely to hear that, because what I'm hearing from you is honesty and transparency. So thank you for sharing that. But I'm also hearing, you went through that time where you kind of had to fight it out. And then you
Yeah,
went through the time where it was a time to forgive, a time to sit and talk, and then decide what's better for both of your health and for the health of your boys. And I just think it's incredible that you've been able to do that, but not only do that, but to build a business at the same time. So a question that's burning in the back of my mind is, how did you manage to build a business when you were going through divorce? Because you said it all started, properly when you got divorced.
yeah.
And, I empathize with you, when it was fish fingers and that on the table. And I've been through divorce myself. I know how difficult that is when you're
Mm.
scraping pennies. So thank you for sharing that, because I know there's so many people tonight are joining and are, know that they're in that same position. But you
Yeah.
had a dream, and you had a dream to do interior
Well,
design.
I tell you what it was actually. It was more, I went from living in a lovely home, marital home, to living somewhere that I absolutely hated. And I think my drive was to get out of there and
Yeah,
make my life better. And I
yeah,
thought, I'm in charge of my life, I'm in charge of my destiny. I can make of this what I will. And I think just having that come down pushed me so hard to come
yeah,
out of it. You know,
yeah,
I'm not living in a palace now, but I'm living somewhere that I love the area. It's near the boys' school. We're really happy. But for a time, for about a year and a half, I was just felt really unsettled where I
yeah,
was. And I thought,
yeah.
how did I get to 42 years old and be in a house I hate, in a neighborhood I don't like? Um,
I know.
just nothing felt like it
Yeah,
was, I felt a failure. And I
yeah,
think that really drove me out of that.
yeah,
And as I said, it didn't happen overnight. I did hundreds of jobs, which I would not have wanted to take, but I did because they
yeah,
paid, and it kept, once you get that momentum going and once you build your confidence up and once you really get back on your feet again, then it's easier to build your own business again. And
Yeah.
I think for me, it was a bit of luck. It was getting some really good clients, those clients talking to their friends, getting new
Yeah.
clients, word of mouth, putting a bit of time and effort into marketing, making sure I did the best job with the best attention to detail,
Yeah.
which meant staying up all night every night,
Oh.
but really just throwing everything into it when I
Yeah.
could, but
Yeah.
also trying to manage, the children, and, I think the main thing is with the children, and this is what I always try and do. So when I'm with the boys 100%, I'm with the boys 100%. So I'm not looking at my phone. I'm not looking at the TV. I'm not being distracted. If I say to the boys, we're going out for the day, or we're doing this together for the evening, or we're cooking this together, then it's very much
That's the
me
focus.
completely focused on them. And I
Yeah.
expect them to do the same. No phones, no iPads, whatever.
Yeah.
This is family time. And of course, it's not easy to always do that, because you've got to meet deadlines. If your phone rings, you can see it's a really important client, you have got to take those calls.
Yes. Yeah.
But I think, just finding that balance can be tricky. But I think the main thing is that you actually put the time in with your children as well as your business,
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
all got to work hand in hand.
Yeah.
And
Very,
yes, it's not the
very
easiest
inspiring.
thing to do.
Yeah, no, and I know that myself in terms of I have 4 kids, but they were all more
Oh,
growing up when I
four's a
started them.
lot. I don't know what I'd have done with 4.
Well, mine, I do have a husband now. Well, I've
Yes.
had a
So
husband
you
now
got
for
remarried, didn't you?
my first divorce was many years ago, and I remarried and went on to have 3 more kids. So I had one son from my first marriage, and then went on had 3 more kids, and
Wow.
so I've been married over 20 years. But I cannot understand how you did that. It must have been that drive and that
It
desire,
was.
to really
Yeah.
get you. So it's so inspiring, you sharing that with us. So I just wanted to pop back to, you mentioned a little bit about holidaying together with all the ex's family, and I hate saying ex, because even though he is an ex, they're still your family.
Yeah.
His parents are still your in-laws. So, but you said until somebody else came on the scene. Do
Mm-hmm.
I hear that there is somebody on the scene?
Yes, it's been a long time coming, but I did meet somebody last summer after lockdown, and he's wonderful, and he's really supportive, and he's a great positive addition to my life, and
Brilliant.
he's brilliant to be around. He's also absolutely lovely with my children. He has his own children, and weirdly as it might sound, we all went skiing and stayed with him and the
Yeah.
children's half term. So
Okay.
he's amazing. He's like an absolute
Fabulous.
saint, and he gets on really well with my ex-husband. So I mean,
Brilliant.
I feel so thankful that it could have
Yeah.
worked completely differently. But I
Yeah.
think I was waiting for that really special person to come along. And
Absolutely. And has it affected co-parenting? So has that affected the zen in the relationship, so to speak,
I
or has that
not
worked it?
at all. I think if anything, he's made my life with the boys easier, because he's
Fabulous.
so great with them. You
Yeah.
know what boys can be like. I mean, I ask them to do something and they pretty much ignore me most of the time. Whereas when he's around, they're so well behaved and so
Behaved.
lovely and so charming. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, you need to come around more often, so that, but we don't live together. And it
Yeah.
took me a long time to introduce him to the boys. And I think it was sort of 6 months before I introduced them.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
And we don't stay with each other during the week. We see each other at the weekends. The boys tend to go to their daddy in the weekends.
Yeah.
And so
And that's your
when they're with
time.
their daddy, it's my time. And it's a bit of a gift, really, to be able to have that time.
Yeah.
So I can be all my own person at the weekends with my lovely boyfriend, and all mummy and work during the
Yeah.
week.
Oh,
So
that's amazing. Well, I'm delighted that it's working out for
I
you.
feel very, very thankful. I know
Yeah.
that it's not always as plain sailing for people, and I know people have to go through hell. But I feel very thankful that I have
Yeah.
this set up.
Oh, no, that's amazing. So we have to talk a little bit about Scent Story.
Yes.
So I, would love to hear, have you any scent memory from your childhood, or anything you'd like to share with us? So, when you walk in a room and you have that aroma that just hits you, and
Yes.
immediately you're transported to a place and even maybe a person. And is there anything that is very nostalgic to you in terms of your sense of smell and memories?
Well, there's a couple of things. So I mean, the first one I wouldn't wear is a scent or a perfume, and that's horses. So I grew up with horses, and for me, anything related to horses in the stables, fresh hay,
Gorgeous.
tack, hoof oil, creosote,
Food foil.
all those lovely, it just reminds me of such a happy time in my life when all I
Yeah.
wanted to do was muck out my pony, brush him, pick out his hooves, polish my tack. So that's a really nostalgic one for me. And I think the other one is my grannies. My grannies always wore that really florally perfume, and you can kind of smell them coming from down the
Yes.
driveway.
Yes. It's a really otherworld smell, isn't it?
They
That
don't
smell.
really do perfumes like that anymore.
I know.
They weren't overpowering. It was just that really delicate. It was always sort of roses or freesias. It was a
Yes.
delicate smell. But yes,
Beautiful.
that sort of takes me back when I smell something like that. It reminds me of my grannies or my horses.
And amazing. And funny, I as well grew up with horses, and I can get that smell. As soon as you talk about it, I can smell it immediately.
Yeah.
The hay and the horse tack, all that is gorgeous. But you know what, for me, it was the sugar beet. I don't even know whether
Yes,
you
I
feed
love
horses
and
sugar beet.
molasses.
And I used to love that smell. And actually, it's not probably a very pleasant smell, but my dad used to soak it, and the smell of it soaking in water.
Yeah.
So yeah, and
I
the
remember when
hay.
my chocolate Labrador ate all the soaked sugar beet and molasses and then blew up like a balloon.
Oh
So we
no.
had chocolate Labradors growing up, which is why I've got one now. But
Oh.
honestly, that's like a lasting memory of our dog like a balloon and sort of not being able to move for about a week.
I know. So, okay, so I have 7 very rapid fire questions for you, Sophie, to
Yes.
end our session. So
Yes.
I am just going to fire them out to you, and I want you to reply. So,
Okay.
best night out in London.
Ooh, Chiltern Firehouse.
One item from your wardrobe you'd save in a fire.
My cape.
Your cape. Share with us, what is that cape?
Well, funny enough, I'm actually going to make it this Christmas. Yeah, I'm going to remodel it and remake it and
Wow.
and make it sort of ready made for this Christmas. I'm going to launch it in April, but my cape is the best piece of clothing. Goes with everything. Glams up an outfit or casual. You can wear it with workout wear, you can wear it with a dress, black tie, lunch, dinner, breakfast. It's the most versatile piece of clothing. I love it.
And can we find out what design is it?
Well, if I tell you that and then I make one very similar, I might get into trouble.
Don't. Yeah, no, don't tell me. Okay, your go-to cocktail?
Picante at Soho Farmhouse or Soho House. That's my absolute favourite. Otherwise, a gin and tonic.
Okay, picante. I'm writing this.
Yeah, picante. It's a spicy margarita.
Okay,
I'm delicious.
I'm coming to London
but at
tomorrow.
home, I would go for gin and tonic.
Yeah, so I'm going to London tomorrow. I'm going to get that. So best summer holiday destination. Oh, did you get that?
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, it depends who I'm with. If I'm with the boys, I absolutely love Cornwall because I can put everyone in the car, including the dog, and just drive off to the beach, and I love it. It's just rough and ready and beautiful, and the English Riviera, it's perfect.
Beautiful.
But if I'm going to get on an aeroplane, I think either the south of France, just because it's so quaint and pretty, and it can be anywhere from Provence to Saint-Tropez.
Yeah.
Chichi, pretty, good food, and fun.
Beautiful.
Otherwise, I went for the first time to Mykonos last summer, and my gosh, was it fun. And the water in Greece is beautiful.
Is it? Lovely.
Oh, but Santorini is beautiful as well. Like, Greece is amazing, and the food's amazing, and the people are divine.
There is one little village in the south of France called Ez. Have
I
you
don't
been?
know. No.
Eze. I'm
Yeah,
probably pronouncing it wrong.
I haven't
Absolutely
been there.
beautiful. You need to go. It's north of Nice, so you must go. Beautiful, beautiful place. So
Oh,
I have
I
another one
will.
for you. Lipstick you can't live without.
Oh, I've got it on now, actually. I put it on before we went live just to try and look a bit glam. This is it here. It's I made it actually in collaboration with Cosmetics a la carte because I couldn't find the perfect pink. And this is my absolute go-to. I mean,
It's
I
stunning,
made it for myself, pretty much.
beautiful,
It's called Romantic Rose and it's by Cosmetics a la carte, and I love it. It's the perfect day or
gorgeous.
night pink.
And do you have a lovely lip liner on as well?
I don't. I
That
don't.
you
I've got
don't.
my I've got a bit of lip gloss on. I've got
Wow,
my
because it gives your
English
lips a beautiful
rose.
shape.
Like that could be the tiramisu I just ate.
Okay. Next one is, when are you most productive?
Oh, well, I wish I could say first thing in the morning, but actually when the kids are in bed and
Yeah,
I've got a couple of hours in my PJs in bed, I love it. I
yeah,
don't know, it's those, you kind of feel they're borrowed hours.
yeah,
But because I know I've got a short time space because I'm going to have to go to sleep, I am on it.
yeah, yeah. Same.
Yeah.
I would be quite similar. And last one, what is something new happening in your life right now?
Which is something I,
Something new is happening in your life.
oh, well, a relationship.
Brilliant.
I haven't had one
Yes,
of those for a long time. And
yeah,
somebody was asking how I met him. So I did the apps. I tried to find him out there in the big wide world, but that wasn't working for me. And
yeah.
luckily, I have lovely friends who invited me to a dinner party, and he happened to be sitting 2 spots away from me. I'd never
Oh,
met him before.
amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. Well, that is, I was trying to go through some more questions because I
I
know
was
people,
going to say though, what so we haven't talked about stories, and obviously you are the founder of Stories. And
yes,
before we finish, I was going to say the reason I had never heard of you, never seen you, and I got sent this sample of Stories perfume, and I put it on, and I instantly felt like it was me.
yeah,
And it's so nice because it's fresh and it's zesty, but it's also quite mellow,
yeah,
and it's not high street. So no one ever smells like you. I mean, I know perfume smells different on everybody, but I
yeah,
think
yeah,
I get so many comments on it because it's
oh,
so different.
yeah,
Um, so I'm
oh,
obsessed with Stories. I wear the number 2 and I can't live without it. It comes, I've got one in my bag, one in my on my chest of drawers. I've got little
yeah.
travel ones I take around. I literally don't go anywhere without it. I'm constantly spritzing it.
Oh, and you know, you've been so supportive. And the whole idea when I was launching the brand was, you know, I want people just to get Stories in their hands, smell it, fall in love with it. And you know that you just fell in love with it. And
I
I mean,
did.
you've been wearing the same for, I don't know how, over a
I
year.
can't even remember, but since you sent it to me, I haven't worn anything else, and nor
I
would
know.
I. And I'm sent lots of lovely things in the post, and I'm so thankful I'm sent them, but I can never wear anything else now. So please
Oh,
never stop doing it.
no, I am not. And but I will. We do have number 3 and number 4, hopefully early next year.
Oh,
And we also
interesting.
have candles coming, Sophie. So
Do you know
I
what I
will.
would love? You know,
What?
well, I should probably have this conversation off live. I would love, you know, Joe Malone used to do those beautiful bottles with oil for the bath.
Yes,
I used
yes,
to have a lime, basil, and mandarin because that used to be my other favorite for
yeah,
Stories.
yeah, yeah.
And that I would love a number 2 oil, bath oil.
Well, do
So
you know,
food for
Sophie?
thought.
Yeah, we need to chat maybe and do a
Yeah.
little collaboration together, and we could have
Yes.
Sophie's bath oil made specifically for her. But I no, definitely candles are coming with a very exciting twist to
How
them.
lovely.
We'll keep you up to date when that's going to happen. But hopefully by
Fab.
September we'll have those. But thank you so much for being so supportive to
Oh,
myself
it's a
and
pleasure.
to the brand. And you know, listening to you talking and you know, how you went out there and you worked to really build a brand and to build a life for yourself. I can understand why you're so supportive, because you don't find people like you every day, and it's actually
Oh,
it's been really lovely to have you just involved with the brand and, you know, being part of the brand, in terms of just, you talk about us all the time. So it's amazing, and
well,
thank
it's
you.
organic and it's authentic because I
Yeah.
love it.
And, you know, thank you for sharing your story this evening with us. I am
Pleasure.
passionate about stories, people's stories, and how they have got to where they are today. And yours is very authentic, very real, and very honest. So thank you so much for sharing.
Pleasure.
And, you know, I saw people was saying, you know, you really deserve happiness, Sophie. So absolutely, we just, you know, wish you so much happiness,
Oh, thank
you know, as you
you.
go on. So
Thank you, lovely.
I will let you go and be productive, since it's getting
Yes,
to
well, I've got
that
to get the
time.
boys to bed first and then I can be productive.
Yeah. So listen, you take care, and I'll speak to you soon.
Okay,
And
thanks for
thank
having
you,
me. Have a
and
lovely
thank you
evening.
everybody for coming
Yes,
on
thanks
and
everybody for
watching.
joining, sending masses of love on a Tuesday.
Yeah. So bye, Sophie.
Bye.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.